Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today's the 24th of March 2026 and surprisingly guys, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has pumped up. Yesterday the price of Bitcoin was around the $60,000 mark. Today it has pumped up by well over $70,000. And what has happened guys since the last 24 hours? President Donald Trump did actually post something really important information via Truth Social, and this is connected to Operation Epic Fury, and because of that, the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has pumped up, and more importantly Satoshi. If you look at ETF related information, there's once again inflows, so it looks like the market sentiment has definitely been picking up pace. With that thing being said guys, if you look at the market sentiment, right now it is still at fear, so you can make an argument Satoshi that geopolitical news directly impacts the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, right?
Sure, George. What you say is absolutely correct. The recent pump in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is certainly tied to macro-level news. As you mentioned, President Trump has signaled negotiations with Iran, and this has impacted the market, leading to crypto inflows. It's important to note that geopolitical events directly impact the market, and our listeners should try to follow only President Donald Trump's official Truth Social account and avoid looking at mainstream media news.
Yeah, cause mainstream media, they're definitely suffering from TDS or Trump derangement syndrome, and apart from that guys, also go ahead and look at official information by the Department of War. And essentially what Satoshi is trying to say is look at official information rather than following social media influencers. Now the only thing I'd like to add regarding Operation Epic Fury is Steve Witkoff along with Jared Kushner, they are making peace negotiations, and yesterday President Donald Trump through social did actually state that he's pausing the operations for 5 days. But here's the thing guys, let's say if you get any information, be it positive or negative, it'll directly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now in the Blockchain DXB podcast, we'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that. Now let's go ahead and discuss 4 macro-level news in today's episode Satoshi. Now according to me, the first news is probably the most important news for 2026. And this is a letter by Larry Fink, who by the way is the CEO of BlackRock. And he writes a letter to investors every year. And here's the thing guys, this letter sets the trajectory and direction where the world is heading towards. So do you want to tell our listener Satoshi, what is it that we are going to be discussing later on in today's episode regarding this letter please?
That's very true, George. The emphasis is on official sources, like President Trump's Truth Social account and the Department of War, rather than mainstream media. And regarding Operation Epic Fury, it's notable that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are making peace negotiations, leading to the 5-day cease of operations. Any update will definitely impact BTC. Now, diving into the macro news, Larry Fink's letter to investors sets the trajectory for the world's direction. We'll discuss how this impacts capital markets and wealth inequality later in the episode.
And regarding cryptocurrency, Satoshi will be touching base on 3 things. The first one is regarding tokenization, because that is the core future theme in this letter. And along with that, we'll also go ahead and touch base on what role cryptocurrencies will actually play in this. And right now guys, there's so much of narrative regarding tokenization, so we'll go ahead and explore what role will tokenization merging with blockchain technology will play in future. Now once we're done with that news Satoshi, we do have another interesting news, and this is connected to privacy. And here's the thing, Satoshi Solana Foundation, they put up an interesting report, and this is connected to institutional privacy framework, isn't it?
You're absolutely correct, George. Larry Fink's letter definitely sets the trajectory and direction for where the world is heading towards. And regarding the Solana Foundation's institutional privacy framework, we'll delve into how their full-spectrum approach, utilizing zero-knowledge proofs, provides the flexibility and compliance businesses need today.
Really interesting to see how the industry is heading towards privacy. Now the next news Satoshi according to me is a really interesting one. And for developers, they should definitely pay a lot of attention to it because it is connected to Open Wallet Standard, isn't it? So why don't you tell our listener Satoshi, what is it that we are going to be discussing regarding Open Wallet Standard?
We'll be discussing MoonPay's Open Wallet Standard, which allows AI agents to manage and transact across multiple blockchains. This simplifies key management, enhances security, and provides unified access to funds, which is a major development for AI-driven financial activities.
Excellent. And the final news for today, guys, has to do with the stablecoin framework, and this is from the state of Delaware. Now before we go ahead and tell our listeners what to expect later on in today's episode, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners, is Delaware a Republican or a Democratic state?
Historically, Delaware is considered a Democratic state. We'll discuss how their new stablecoin framework is modernizing their financial systems.
Yeah, it is interesting to see that a Democratic state is moving forward to a stablecoin framework, Because look, Satoshi, historically, if you look at Democrats and left-leaning administration, they've been massive detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So it is really interesting to see that the Democratic state, they are working towards a stablecoin framework. Really positive development. So looks like, guys, we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover in today's episode. And like we do in every Blockchain DXB podcast, we will be looking at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news, Satoshi, is regarding artificial intelligence, isn't it? What is the news that we have for our listeners today?
It is quite noteworthy, George. A positive development for the broader crypto landscape. Now, shifting focus to the UAE and the Middle East, we're seeing interesting developments in AI-driven IT staffing. Stafenza is introducing this across UAE and KSA, delivering pre-vetted engineers in under 48 hours. This focuses on speed and high-quality talent, addressing skill gaps.
Now, the final news for today, Satoshi, is a report, and this is published by PwC Middle East, and the report is titled Harnessing AI to Transform Non-Profit Social Entities in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So looks like we have quite a lot of interesting things to cover, guys, in today's episode. But before we go ahead and kickstart today's episode, a quick word from our sponsors. Hey everyone, this episode is powered by a new sponsor, that is Amana, and they are the region's first and fastest growing regulated all-in-one trading and investing app. So look, guys, whether you're looking into investing in US stocks like Apple or Tesla, or mega giants like ADNOC or Salik, Amana puts the financial markets on your fingertips. It includes gold, foreign exchange, ETFs, futures, commodities, and guess what, guys? They have over 375 cryptocurrencies, and this makes them the biggest crypto selection in the region. Now for the Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, if you want to go and build long-term wealth without thinking about it every day, explore Amana's pre-built auto investment plans, and all you have to do is set your monthly budget, choose your preferred asset category, and let Amana automate the investing for you. Zero fees, zero lockups, 100% customizable. And here's the thing, guys, funding your account is easier than ever. You can fund your account with Apple Pay, Google Pay, credit cards, instant bank deposits, and even crypto wallets. No friction and no hassles. And the best part is, guys, let's say if you need support, you would absolutely love Amana for this, because they offer 24/6 human customer service, as well as a personalized sales support, real people, real help, and the customer support is in English as well as in Arabic. And for the Blockchain DXB listener and community, guys, I do have something really exclusive for you. What you can do is register with Amana using the code Blockchain DXB, or you can also use the link that is in the show notes below. And here's the best part, guys. Once you register, fund your account with a minimum of $100 and at least go ahead and make one trade, and then you'll receive a $100 trading bonus credit to your account the following month. But look, guys, it's real important to note, the bonus is non-withdrawable. It is there to help you trade and learn. So look, guys, if you're looking for a transparent, powerful and easy to use app, that's Amana for you. So what are you waiting for, guys? Download the app now, or you can also visit the website, that is amana.app, and don't forget to use the code Blockchain DXB. And Amana, guys, is all markets one app. Next, guys, I'm happy to announce that Blockchain DXB is the official media partner with one of the OGs in the cryptocurrency and blockchain event space, and that is Blockchain Futuristic Conference taking place in Florida this year, as well as ETH Women taking place simultaneously. And trust me, guys, this is an event that you don't want to miss, isn't it? Because for the very first time, North America's most immersive Web3 event is heading to the United States of America, and the Blockchain Futurist Conference and ETH Women event is actually taking place between the 5th and 6th of November. And the location is absolutely stunning, guys. It is taking place at Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, which is in Hollywood, Florida. That's right, guys. Palm trees, panels, and the biggest mind in blockchain and cryptocurrency is all in one place. So there will be multi-stage panels, NFT galleries, DeFi showcases, hand-on tech demos, metaverse experiences, even outdoor VIP cabanas, and quite a lot more. And the Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, guys, is one of the most iconic venues in the country. So look, guys, if you're in the Web3 space, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, or even artificial intelligence space, or just want to do some serious networking, this is the place that you got to be. And to all of you Blockchain DXB listeners, guys, we have something really interesting for you, because you can get a 25% off the tickets. So just use the code DXB25, and the link to the event as well as the code is in the show notes below. And as an official media partner, I'll be doing exclusive live coverage, interviews, behind the scenes access, and I will be spotlighting some of the most exciting projects shaping the future of decentralized finance tech. So if you're at the venue, guys, definitely come and say hi. Maybe we can catch up for a coffee as well. So listen guys, the code is DXB25 and by using this code you will be eligible for a 25% discount, and the event is taking place between the 5th and 6th of November 2025 at the iconic Guitar Hotel at Hard Rock, that is in Hollywood, Florida. And in the show notes below guys, there's all contact details for Blockchain Futuristic Conference Florida 2025 as well as Eat Women. And look guys, this is the future of blockchain technology brought into life, so don't just read about it, be there and head to the website that is futuristconference.com and go ahead and use the code DXB25. So see you at the event. Next, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen guys, do one thing, if you do want to support this channel, go to the website that is www.amt.tv and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Startup OI is global one tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs, and these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. it is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now guys, since you're taking care of that, let's quickly run to the global cryptocurrency snapshot. At the moment President Donald Trump did actually put out information about Truth Social, I was looking at the price of Satoshi and I could see the price is bumping up, and the price of Bitcoin alone has bumped up by well over $2,000. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, right now it is at $2.50 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 3.02%. And if you look at the global cryptocurrency market volume, guys, right now it is well over the $100 billion mark. As a matter of fact, it is at $125.69 billion. But unfortunately, guys, if you look at the volume of decentralized exchanges, the numbers hasn't improved. Right now it is only at $9.14 billion. And if you look at the total fees connected for the decentralized exchange, it is below the $60 million mark at $58.69 million. And the total value locked is still shy of the $100 billion mark. It is only at $95.369 billion. And one matrix Satoshi which I personally keep an eye on is the decentralized to centralized exchange dominance. Unfortunately, since the last 2 months, this percentage has actually fallen down miserably. Right now it is only at 19.69%, which just means Satoshi, only 19.69% of these transactions are done on decentralized exchanges. This, to be honest, is definitely dreadful, isn't it? Considering the fact, if you look at the invention of Bitcoin as well as Ethereum for that matter, it has been well over a decade, isn't it? So am I right in saying, Satoshi, based on the matrix, people are not using decentralized exchanges?
Indeed, George. The market is dynamic. It's quite dreadful to see the DEX to CEX ratio at just 19.69%, considering the history of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It certainly suggests a lack of decentralized traction.
And here's the thing, guys, surprisingly, if you look at crypto-related inflows since the last 24 hours, today once again it is positive, and right now it is at $151.69 million. Now look, Satoshi, am I right in saying the market does react to a lot of clarity as opposed to, let's say, suspense in the field? Because look, the moment President Donald Trump did actually put out stark warning, there was a bit of panic, because what did happen day before yesterday was, President Donald Trump did actually give around 48 hours notice, and that news did actually create a bit of panic, but immediately after that, yesterday he did actually state there was ongoing negotiations with Iranian officials. Now at this point of time, we don't know who the officials are, but this is sending a bit of clarity, isn't it? So am I right in saying, Satoshi, despite the chaos that is currently still taking place, the market does actually react to clarity and specifics of information, particularly from officials?
That's a valid point, George. The positive crypto inflows suggest the market does react to clear, specific, and official information.
Now why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you read out the matrix regarding the volume of top 5 decentralized exchanges for our listeners, please?
Certainly. The 24-hour volume for top decentralized exchanges includes Uniswap at $2.00 billion, PancakeSwap at $1.45 billion, Aerodrome at $540 million, Orca at $404.82 million, and Humidify at $393.369 million.
And here's the thing, guys, the volume of stablecoins has definitely picked up pace, but according to me, Satoshi, this number should have been at least 30 to 40% higher. Only then we can confidently state that the price of Bitcoin may actually reach a new all-time high. Unfortunately, the volume is still less in my honest opinion. Tether USDT's volume is at $102.40 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd, and its 24-hour volume is almost 1/10 of that of Tether USDT. It is only at $13.83 billion. FDUSD's volume is almost tripled since the last 24 hours, but it is still below the $500 million mark. It is only at $416.369 million. Now why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you read out the market cap, 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin as well as Ethereum? Because what has happened since the last 24 hours, Ripple has overtaken the market cap of Binance once again.
Well, Bitcoin's market cap is $1.42 trillion, and its 24-hour trading volume is $48.9 billion, with a dominance of 56.60%, and Ethereum's market cap is $260.36 billion, with a 24-hour volume of $27.48 billion and 10.40% dominance. Ripple XRP is experiencing interesting movements. I'll pass it back to you, George, to delve deeper into the Ripple matrix.
Yeah, it has definitely overtaken Binance BNB Coin once again, and right now its market cap is at a staggering $87.14 billion. And here's the thing, guys, if you look at its 24-hour trading volume, it is definitely better than an average given day. Right now it is at $3.26 billion. Now look, Satoshi, right now President Donald Trump wants to go ahead and make America great again. So what I want you to do is, I want you to go ahead and read out a couple of matrix that is connected to USA coins. So why don't you do one thing? Why don't you tell our listeners the matrix regarding USA coins and also go ahead and read out the matrix for the top made in USA coins by market cap, please?
Sure, George. Let me go ahead and elaborate for you, as President Donald Trump is definitely making America great again. The top made in USA coins by market cap are as follows: Ripple XRP at $87.1 billion, Circle USDC at $78.64 billion, Solana at $51.94 billion, Figure HELOC at $16.3 billion, and Cardano at $9.69 billion.
Thank you so very much for that. Now let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And here's the thing, guys. The price of Bitcoin is definitely pumped up since the last 24 hours. Right now, it is at $70,696. And because of President Donald Trump's announcement via Truth Social, the price of Bitcoin is up by 4.23%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 4.62%. Why don't you read out the matrix for Ethereum as well as Ripple for our listeners and tell us what is going on since the last 24 hours and make a quick comparison since the last 7 days as well for our listeners, please.
Bitcoin is performing well today, George, with that price increase since the announcement. For Ethereum, the price is currently $2,156, showing a 0.95% change in the last 24 hours, but a 7.06 decrease since the last 7 days. Ripple XRP is priced at 1.42, with a 3.85 positive change in 24 hours, but a 6.77 decline over the week.
Thank you so very much for that. But look, as all this thing being said, right now, if you look at the fear and greed index or market sentiment, it is still at number 32 and it is still at fear. But here's the thing, guys. The moment we get any update regarding the geopolitical chaos, and most likely President Donald Trump will secure another peace deal once again, I'm pretty much sure there'll be positive momentum regarding the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now let's go ahead and talk about a really interesting news, Satoshi. And according to me, this particular letter by Larry Fink probably is the most important letter in 2026. And this letter is titled Annual Chairman Letter to Investors. Now in this letter, Satoshi, let's go ahead and break it down into 6 core areas. The first one is capital market driving growth, rising wealth inequality, the impact of artificial intelligence and technology, and the letter also touches base on expanding access to investing, global policy and market shifts, and also it goes ahead and talks about BlackRock's growth strategy. So let's go ahead and tell our listeners what is going on regarding this letter, okay?
You're absolutely correct, George. Larry Fink's letter is definitely the most pivotal letter because it charts the trajectory in which the world is heading towards in 2026. Let's detail the 6 key areas. First, regarding capital markets driving growth, Fink highlights that a growing share of economic value is being created in the capital markets, an opportunity that all must participate in. Second, on rising wealth inequality, the letter examines how economic growth isn't reaching enough people, with wealth concentrated among asset owners. Third, the impact of AI and technology is explored, as AI could accelerate wealth concentration.
Now, am I right in saying, Satoshi, in that letter, Larry Fink has also stated which jobs will be in demand in the near future, and looks like electricians will be the highest-paying jobs in the near future because of AI, right?
That's a great point, George. You're right. In the letter, Larry Fink does specify that while AI creates significant economic value, the near-term demand is clearly in skilled trades. He notes that employment for electricians, for instance, is growing 3 times faster than the national average, and that many of these jobs pay very well. This underscores the importance of rethinking traditional pathways to success.
What about carpenters?
Carpenters are also one of those, with a projected growth rate of 4.5%. Now, let's go and tackle on the 4th point, George, today. This is connected to expanding access to investing. Larry Fink's letter emphasizes how market participation is crucial for inclusive economic growth, especially in an era of rising wealth inequality. He points out that traditional wealth-building methods, like homeownership, aren't sufficient anymore, and many don't have the means to invest. The letter discusses innovative solutions like emergency savings programs and early wealth-building accounts to help broaden participation. Moving to global policy and market shifts, Fink examines how countries are transitioning to self-reliance due to geopolitical trends. This requires immense investment in energy, defense, and technology, with capital markets playing a much larger role. Finally, regarding BlackRock's growth strategy, the letter details their continued focus on client needs, achieving record inflows and expanding into key areas like ETFs and private markets.
Thank you so much for that. And regarding global news, Satoshi also talked about India Senate, where I believe BlackRock has a joint venture with Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Group, right?
That's right, George. The joint venture is focused on bringing more investors into the Indian market. Fink emphasizes how this contributes to building modern financial infrastructure and expanding economic opportunity.
What about Japan and Germany, Satoshi? What does the letter say regarding those countries?
The letter notes how Japan has increased market participation by raising tax-free investment limits, leading to a significant increase in new investors. In Germany, the focus is on pension reform to address demographic challenges and expand funded private pensions.
Excellent. So what I'd really urge our listeners to do is go ahead and read through the entire letter, because look guys, when Larifig gets involved, the entire trajectory and direction of the industry gets changed. Now because you're in the world of blockchain, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners what does this letter talk about regarding tokenization, cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology? Because if I'm not mistaken, he has indirectly talked about blockchain technology, not directly, right?
Yes, George, that's a fair point. While the letter doesn't directly position blockchain as the core focus, Fink clearly links tokenization, a key application, to modernizing financial systems and improving access to investments. Crypto is mentioned as a supporting role in terms of investment exposure and BlackRock's growth strategies in digital assets.
Now the letter does talk about managing stablecoin reserves, right?
Yes, the letter does mention BlackRock's involvement in managing stablecoin reserves.
Do you want to elaborate that for our listeners, please?
Certainly. BlackRock managing stablecoin reserves as part of their growth areas, recognizing it as a key part of the digital asset landscape and further integration into traditional finance.
And here's the thing, Satoshi, roughly around a month ago, BlackRock did actually make a partnership with one of the leading decentralized exchanges called as Uniswap, and this was in connection to securitize. So look, I do feel because of this partnership, Satoshi, the volume of decentralized exchange will definitely be increasing, maybe in a few months or maybe in a couple of years. Really interesting letter by Larry Fink in my honest opinion. Now let's go ahead and discuss another news for today, Satoshi. And this is a report that is published by Solana Foundation. And this is focusing on privacy for institutional investors, isn't it? Let's go ahead and take a deep dive into what this news is all about, okay?
So, the Solana Foundation report, titled Privacy on Solana, a full-spectrum approach for the modern enterprise, outlines a customizable range of privacy solutions for businesses. It emphasizes how privacy is a spectrum, offering 4 distinct modes: pseudonymity, confidentiality, anonymity, and full privacy, depending on needs. The report details how Solana uses advanced technologies like zero-knowledge proofs to shield sensitive data while maintaining compliance frameworks. Enterprise use cases include banking, corporate operations, and institutional trading. It also stresses compliance and infrastructure, such as the Solana attestation service, ensuring privacy can coexist with regulatory requirements.
Now before we get into that, Satoshi, I do want to ask, when you talk about zero-knowledge proof and hiding sensitive data, I believe it talks about employee salaries as well as key personal information regarding employees, right?
Yes, the report confirms that, George. It explicitly mentions how zero-knowledge proofs are utilized to shield sensitive data like employee salaries or trade sizes under the confidentiality mode.
What about compliance? Because look, I'm pretty much sure people do need a lot of KYC for individuals who are working in the company as well, right?
The report emphasizes compliance-first design, George. It highlights how Solana attestation service to link verified identities off-chain for regulatory compliance without public exposure, supporting travel rule and sanction screening.
Excellent, Satoshi, and the Crow promises that for enterprise privacy is a spectrum, not just a switch. So why don't you do one thing, Satoshi? Why don't you tell our listeners the finer details regarding this report? Because I'm pretty much sure as an industry, this is something we should definitely be keeping an eye on, right?
Precisely, George. The report concludes by highlighting Solana's sub-second speeds, which make complex privacy computations like zero-knowledge proofs practical for enterprise use. It positions it as a foundational platform for modern enterprise applications by combining performance with flexible privacy layers.
Now what about the Solana attestation service, Satoshi? How does that thing actually work?
The Solana attestation service, George, allows institutions to link verified identities off-chain. This enables compliance with regulatory requirements without exposing personal details on the public ledger, balancing privacy with necessary oversight.
Well, let's say if there is an institution, Satoshi, would they prefer to work with Solana? Or would they prefer to, let's say, build their own system where they can still go ahead and implement zero-knowledge proof. What do you think as an institution, what would they prefer? Will they prefer to build their own custom privacy settings, or would they like to go ahead and offer something that Solana is offering?
Institutions would likely prefer the comprehensive framework offered by Solana, as building custom solutions can be time-consuming and costly, whereas Solana provides a balance of flexibility and built-in compliance.
You're right in saying that it would actually become costly, but look, we are talking about institutions. I'm pretty much sure they'll be able to bear the cost. Now, talking about cost, Satoshi, do you want to tell our listeners a ballpark figure as to how much would it actually cost? Let's say for an institution who is going ahead and implementing zero-knowledge proof, do you have any ballpark figure so our listeners get an estimate regarding the cost?
It's challenging to give a precise cost figure because an institution's preference and implementation strategy can vary greatly, George. Building a proprietary system versus leveraging a platform like Solana involves different considerations in terms of development, maintenance, and compliance costs.
Let's say, Satoshi, there's a small firm, let's say with 100 employees, and they're dealing, let's say, with high net worthy individuals. What about then? Do you think it'll be worthwhile for them to go and offer Solana Foundation, or do you think it'll be better for them to go and look at other options? Because look, this particular report does actually focus only on institutional investors, right? And according to me, there's definitely heavy cost associated with zero-knowledge proof.
It's possible a smaller firm might consider modular options or bespoke solutions that better fit their scale and budget, while still integrating necessary privacy features. The Solana report positions itself for the modern enterprise, implying its full suite may be more relevant for larger operations.
Well, thank you so very much for that anyways. Now let's go ahead and discuss the next news for today, Satoshi. And this is connected to open source wallet. And MoonPay has launched an open source wallet standard that actually lets our agents manage funds and also transact across multiple blockchain. And here's the thing, guys, the new system simplifies key management, improves security, and also allows unified access to funds, thereby reducing inefficiencies and risk. And am I right in saying, Satoshi, that there are other companies who are working on something similar?
That is correct, George. Major companies like PayPal, OKX, and Circle have helped develop the standard, showing strong industry support. And the framework could actually boost AI-driven financial activities.
Now let's go ahead and talk on some of the key features regarding this wallet standard, Satoshi. And there are 4 areas, isn't it? That is unified access, security key management, policy controls, and modular design, isn't it? Why don't you explain this thing to our listeners, please? Why don't you go ahead and explain this thing to our listeners, please?
Sure, George. Let me break down the key features of the standard. Unified access empowers AI agents to function from a centralized pool of funds, which eliminates fragmentation and facilitates smoother transaction flows. Security key management prioritizes security by ensuring private keys are stored in an encrypted vault, with transactions signed in a dedicated, isolated process to mitigate exposure. Policy controls allow users to implement spending limits and restrictions, which is particularly valuable for oversight and compliance. And finally, the modular design adopts an open-source approach, encompassing storage systems, signing processes, policy controls, and compatibility with blockchains, offering flexibility for various AI applications.
This new standard, Satoshi, do you think by any chance it directly or indirectly impacts customer service as well? Because look, this news is definitely technical, and I'm pretty much sure a lot of developers would like it, but what about the end user? Does it make any direct impact to customer satisfaction or user experience?
That's an interesting consideration, George. While the technical details might appeal to developers, the features definitely have direct and indirect impacts on the end user. Unified access, for example, simplifies fund management, leading to a smoother experience for customers. Also, policy controls provide greater transparency and control, which builds trust and can significantly enhance customer satisfaction.
Really interesting update, I guess. Now let's go ahead and discuss the final news for today, Satoshi. And this is from a democratic state of Delaware, Senate. So do you want to tell our listeners what this news is all about? Now, truth be told, Satoshi, I'm completely shocked because this might be the very first time in almost 4 years I'm talking about a democratic state, and looks like now they're becoming advocates of cryptocurrencies. But here's the thing, guys. This is connected to stablecoins, but nonetheless, Satoshi, why don't you break down what this news is for our listeners, please?
It is quite surprising, George. Senators Spiros Mansavinos and Representative Bill Bush have introduced bills to modernize Delaware's banking and digital payment rules. This legislation updates older laws, defines digital assets, and supports innovations like stablecoins and Fintech services. The governor's office is in favor, aiming to keep Delaware's financial system competitive and accessible.
Now the governor is also a Democratic governor, right?
Yes, George. Governor Matt Meyer is a Democratic governor.
Now can you do one thing, Satoshi? Can you check historically what has been their stance regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? Were they in favor of it or were they opposing it?
Now, regarding the governor, George, no strong early personal Bitcoin stance has been found. Earlier Delaware messaging, pre-governor era, leaned cautious on crypto risks, emphasizing volatility and fraud and the need for regulation. However, his current stance is to support crypto and digital assets, but within a strong regulatory framework, which could be influenced by midterm elections to project a certain image.
That is definitely what I think, cause look, Democrats historically have been massive detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, but nonetheless, guys, news such as this is definitely great for the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So these were some macro level news, guys, on the Bitcoin blockchain cryptocurrency world. Now let's go and look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now let's go and tackle the first news for today, Satoshi.
Transitioning to the first news, George, Stefenza introduces AI-driven IT staffing across UAE and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, delivering pre-vetted engineers in under 48 hours.
Now here's the thing, guys, the company is based in Dubai and they are focused on modern hiring solutions, and they claim they help companies hire highly skilled tech talent faster by using advanced artificial intelligence tools. And here's the thing, guys, businesses can get matched with suitable as well as qualified investors in just under 48 hours, and they provide AI engineers, developers, software engineers for various technical roles. Now based on the official announcement, Satoshi, looks like the main focus is on speed, high quality talent and fully regulatory compliance, right?
Exactly. They use advanced AI to match companies with highly skilled tech talent faster, providing AI engineers, developers, and software engineers, all within 48 hours. You're right, the focus is clearly on speed, quality, and full compliance.
Now what about Emiratization, Satoshi? How do they tackle that?
Regarding Emiratization, George, they ensure compliance by following regional rules like Emiratization in the UAE and Nitakat in Saudi Arabia.
And AI is used to match candidates based on both technical skills as well as company requirements. And here's the thing, guys, it helps fill major skill gaps in areas like cloud computing, data analytics, and cybersecurity. And only the top 3% of candidates are selected through a strict and detailed screening process. And this greatly reduces the hiring workload and time spent by internal company teams. Now, how many companies have already used the service, Satoshi?
Well, George, according to the report, over 500 companies have already used the service, and they've successfully placed more than 1,000 pre-vetted engineers into roles.
Now what about the client satisfaction, Satoshi? The news also talks about what the rating is, right?
That's right, George. The client satisfaction rating is approximately 4.3 out of 5.
And the only thing I'd like to add is that hiring process starts with companies showing their requirements, goals as well as tech needs, and the AI matches candidates' profiles, and they are provided within 48 hours after the requirements are submitted. And teams can begin onboarding and working within a fast timeline of 7 to 21 days. And here's the thing, guys, they also offer flexible hiring options like temporary, remote, temporary to hire, and also permanent staffing solutions. Really interesting news. Now what about the next news for today, Satoshi? This is another interesting news, and this is from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, isn't it? Now let's go ahead and discuss the second news for today, Satoshi. And here's the thing, guys. This is a report that is published by PwC. And the report is titled News Harnessing Artificial Intelligence to Transform Non-Profit Social Entities in Saudi Arabia. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and tell our listeners what this report talks about, okay?
Let's go and talk about this report, George, so that listeners can know more information regarding this. The report highlights how data and analytics are widely used to better understand community needs. We're seeing that GCC governments are investing heavily in healthcare, jobs, and education.
And the report also says that non-profits play a major role in delivering social and welfare services, and so far Saudi Arabia sector is concerned, guys, it is growing rapidly with 5,000 organizations and 105,000 volunteers, and the report says that programs can be designed more effectively using advanced AI-driven insights, and financial transparency improves greatly with real-time tracking of funds.
And here's the thing, George, fraud and irregular transactions can also be detected using smart features. This greatly improves financial transparency and makes reporting much clearer and more accurate, which also allows for more efficient resource allocation.
And one thing to note is, Satoshi, based on the report, up to 25% of funds can be lost due to weak tracking systems, right?
That's a significant point, George. The report mentions that up to 25% of funds can be lost due to weak tracking systems. AI helps by identifying underserved communities and targeting support more precisely.
Now, what I really found interesting in this report, Satoshi, is that the report actually states that bias in decision making can be reduced using diverse data models, and so far as chatbots and virtual tools are concerned, it does actually improve overall accessibility and communication, and so far service gaps and inequality are concerned, they can be clearly identified and corrected, and resources can be allocated more efficiently to areas with highest impact. And finally, Satoshi, the report also touches base on automation, that it does actually reduce manual work and frees up valuable time for strategy, and so far as non-profits are concerned, because of artificial intelligence, they can now shift from reactive to proactive and have a more data-driven impact model. So look, guys, what I'd really urge you to do is go to PwC Middle East website and go ahead and read this report yourself. Really interesting news. So these were some macro level newscasts on the Bitcoin blockchain, cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence world from blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's do one thing, Satoshi. Let's go ahead and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series, alright?
Sure, George. Let's go and kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. I'm really curious to check what questions listeners have in store for us. Hey everyone, it's Satoshi from the Blockchain DXB podcast. We have a question from Tom who asks whether privacy-focused blockchains like Solana will drive real enterprise adoption.
I do think so, yes, Satoshi, because look, when you talk about Solana, it is definitely gaining a lot of momentum, and it is great that they're focusing on enterprise solution, and I'm not sure Solana has any tie with Chainlink as such, because when you talk about Oracle solutions, Chainlink is kind of like the OG in the space, isn't it? And here's the thing, Tom. Chainlink has introduced a concept called a CCIP, that is cross-chain interoperability protocol, and because of that, other blockchains such as Solana or Ethereum, they can go ahead and have a lot of interoperability, and more importantly, this targeted toward enterprise adoption. But that thing being said, Tom, when it comes to privacy, I'd really like individual users like you and me to go ahead and be in a position to go ahead and full access to our privacy. That's what my take it is regarding this, Satoshi.
That's a fair perspective, George. The Solana Foundation's report does emphasize that privacy is a spectrum, not a switch, offering different modes for transparency and confidentiality. While the focus is on enterprise adoption and compliance through features like confidential balances and auditor keys, the modular design could potentially support greater individual control as well, depending on implementation.
Now, what about World ID, Satoshi? I'm not sure if you do have information regarding World ID. They were essentially trying to have an impact on enterprise as well. What is going on regarding that? Because look, regulations can definitely be a massive hindrance in such case, right?
Regulations certainly can be a factor, George. While the Solana Foundation report focuses specifically on their compliance-first approach for enterprise, aiming to balance privacy with regulatory needs, the broader development of standards like the MoonPay initiative we discussed is also crucial for interoperability and broader adoption across the board, including enterprise.
That is definitely an interesting point, but look, Tom, the only thing I can say is maybe right now we are seeing a trend towards attracting a lot of enterprises, because that's where a lot of money lies, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see if the industry is actually accepting this particular move, but let's see how this narrative develops. Really interesting question. And that's about all, guys. I'm the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, we have Blockchain DXB podcast, where we look at the process, we look at the latest technological development, we talk about everything going on in politics, because they directly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and politicians now, guys, can also have a massive impact not just on the process, but even on the trajectory and direction of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We also talk about different partnerships, we talk about macro-level news in the world of artificial intelligence, then we look at 2 news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. We look at the latest technological development, we talk about everything going on at the regional level, and what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.